Yo, it's your boy Bess, and welcome back to the Straight to the Point podcast, season 2, episode 24. On today's episode, I'm going to start off with my best 5 sports duos of all time. We're talking about all sports and all time. All right, next, I'm going to give y'all just a little bitty preview between the Super Bowl matchup of the Chiefs and the 49ers. All right, not necessarily dissect it like I'm going to do next week, but I do want to just talk about it for a second. Then after that, I'm going to talk about Dan Campbell and how his aggressiveness got him in trouble against the 49ers. And then Lamar Jackson fans, please stay tuned because I got to talk about Lamar Jackson and I got to just let y'all know what the fact of the matter is, all right? And then I'm going to end this episode with Jason Kidd speaking facts about his franchise player being the best player in Dallas Mavericks history, all right? Y'all already know that's my dog, so I got to talk about that, all right? But before I get this episode started, as always, I want to thank God for waking me up this morning and allowing me to talk about sports, which is something that I love to do. And without him, I would not be here right now. So let's go ahead and let's get straight to the point. Real quick, apologies for posting this episode late. All right, this week got a little bit hectic, but I'm here now prepared for a great episode of the Straight to the Point podcast. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get this thing started. My best 5 sports duos of all time. So I'm not going to lie. I saw this on First Take earlier this week. Stephen A. Smith gave his Stephen A. list for his top 5 sports duos of all time. I'm not going to lie. He butchered it a little bit. He didn't do what I thought he would do, all right? It wasn't that good, all right? I'm not going to show y'all his list, but I'm about to give y'all my list, all right? Number 5 for the best sports duos of all time, I got to go with Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes, all right? They're not nowhere near the top, but I will give them number 5 because they have won 2 Super Bowls together, and they have 589 connections. So passes from Mahomes to Travis Kelce, 589 connections for 7,303 yards, and have scored 53 times at 93 games played together. Don't get it twisted. They are great, even though I do believe they've been overrated and overhyped over the past couple of years. I do think that this is one of the best duos to ever do it. But there's a gap between 5 and then 4 because in number 4, I got Joe Montana and Jerry Rice, probably the greatest quarterback to receiver duo we've ever seen. Well, I didn't see it, but that the NFL has ever seen. All right, they won 2 Super Bowls back to back in 1989 and 1990. They connected 386 times for 6,710 yards and 67 touchdowns in 77 games. All right, remember before Brady was the GOAT, Joe Montana was the GOAT, and the biggest part of that was Jerry Rice. And Jerry Rice is arguably the greatest receiver to ever do it. All right, number 3, I got to go with Shaq and Kobe, all right? The Black Mamba and the Big Diesel. Look, 8 years played together. They did have a three-peat. They won in, I believe, it was 2000, 2001, and 2002. All right, in those 3 series, those 3 championship series, is they won 4-2, 4-1, and then 4-0. All right, so they was pure just dominating the league. And in the championship rounds, they did not have any competition. The most a team won, the most games a team won against them was 2 in those championship rounds. So great job by those 2. One of the best duos to ever do it on the hardwood. Even though I guess they had their differences, they did put together something special. All right, with the Lakers. All right, number 2, I got to go with Brady and Gronk. All right, the best quarterback to tight end duo to ever do it. I don't want to hear about Travis Kelce and Mahomes. They're good, but this was greatness. They went to 5 Super Bowls in 11 years. Went to 5 Super Bowls, won 4 Super Bowls. All right, in between the 2, 620 connections for 9,275 yards, scored 93 touchdowns in 141 games. All right, this was yin and yang. This was Batman and Superman, not even Batman and Robin. All right, I know this personally because the Steelers can never get past the New England Patriots. There was a big reason why we don't have any rings between our last one and now. All right, because of the greatness of Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski. Rob Gronkowski was the kryptonite every time we went against them. So I have hands-on experience against these 2, and let me tell you something, it was greatness. I used to hate it when I used to watch it, but now I can appreciate it. The greatest duo to ever play football, right? Talking about on the football field, but the greatest duo of all time was on the hardwood. We're talking about Magic and Kareem. In 10 years, 5 championships, all right? This was the Lake Show. They put the Lakers pretty much on the map as one of the greatest franchises ever to ever do it. All right, greatest franchises in history of sports. All right, when you think about sports, you think about the Lakers, you think about the Celtics, you might think about the Patriots, right? But the Lakers are definitely at the top of that list, and it's because of Magic and Kareem. All right, Magic, we all know, the greatest point guard to ever do it, had arguably one of the greatest big men right by his side, and that duo was unstoppable. Like I said, 5 championships in 10 years. I believe that is the greatest duo of all time. All right, and those are my best 5 duos of all time. I got Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. Then I got Joe Montana and Jerry Rice. Then I got Kobe and Shaq. Then Brady and Gronk, and then Magic and Kareem. All right, so let's go ahead and let's move on to my next topic. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl matchup coming in February. We have the Chiefs and the 49ers. The Chiefs did end up beating the Baltimore Ravens 17-10, and then the Lions blew a huge lead against the 49ers, ended up losing 34-31. All right, this matchup was played in 2020 actually, when Jimmy Garoppolo was the quarterback for the 49ers, and the 49ers lost that game 20-31. Okay, so it's gonna be a Super Bowl rematch. Kyle Shanahan can hopefully get revenge against the Chiefs, against Andy Reid and the Chiefs. Once again, not going to really break it down yet because Super Bowl week will be the next week. All right, so next week I'll talk about this matchup more, but just want to let y'all know, in case y'all didn't know for some crazy reason, all right, this is our Super Bowl matchup. But I do want to talk about, more importantly, to the 2 teams that lost in the NFC Championship and in the AFC Championship. I'll talk about the 2 teams that won next week, of course, but the 2 teams that lost, I got to talk about them and why they lost. All right, let's start off with Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions, all right, blowing a huge lead, a 24-7 lead against the 49ers in the NFC Championship game. I'm not going to lie to y'all, I picked the 49ers to win this game, and I was very, very confident. But whenever the Lions came out and punched the 49ers in the face, I was nervous. I was scared for a second because they went up 24-7. I didn't think the game was over, but I knew it would be a tough task for the 49ers to come back and win this game. But they did have a lot of help from Dan Campbell, all right, specifically Dan Campbell. A lot of people want to talk about the Lions as a whole, but to blow a lead 24-7 at halftime, to blow that lead, it took coaching errors, and it did. All right, we're talking about the first, so after the halftime, all right, the first drive of the game, of the second half of the 49ers, they drove down the field, and they got a field goal. All right, so now the lead is from 24-7. Now it's 24-10. All right, the Lions get the ball right back and drive right down the field. So me picking the 49ers, I'm like, man, this game is over with because they just cannot stop this Lions offense. But the Lions ended up getting to a 4th down in field goal range, like in the red zone almost, I believe. And then Dan Campbell, who's been aggressive all year. Let's not get it twisted. All year he's been aggressive. That is a big reason why this team played the way they did, because they're just so aggressive. They played every down like it was their last almost, and that's the identity that this team had. This is why a lot of people like the Lions, because of their aggressiveness, because of their willingness to go for it on 4th down and to go for 2-point conversion. Remember against the Cowboys a couple of weeks ago before the season ended, when the Lions played the Cowboys, remember that big controversy, that flag that they ended up throwing, that 2-point conversion? They could have kicked the extra point, right, and went to overtime. But the Detroit Lions did end up going for 2 and ended up losing that game. But that just shows you the aggressiveness of Dan Campbell. But to me, me personally, if I was a coach, I would not be this aggressive, especially in the NFC Championship when I have this 24-7, this 17-point lead at halftime. I cannot blow this lead. That is my mindset going into the second half. In the second half, my job is to increase the lead as much as possible, but do it in a smart way. As long as I keep them down, then they cannot win this game. All right, so the 49ers came out, kicked the field goal, made 24-10. That was a 14-point game. The Lions get the ball, walk down the field. It's 4th down. Kick the field goal. Guess what? You erased what they just did, and now it's a 17-point game again, right? What they just did that first drive means nothing because I went out there and I put up 3 points to erase their 3. Now it's 24 to now it'll be 27-10, just like it was 24-7. All right, 17-point game. But Dan Campbell, being aggressive, wanted to put 6 on the board, went for it, missed it. From this decision, from this moment forward, the game was lost. And even when it happened, I told my family, I said, y'all don't think that was a good decision? You take your 3, you go up by 17 again. Why would you not do that? Why are you going for it? Didn't make sense to me. But best believe after that, everything went downhill. The 49ers scored, made it 24-17. Then the Lions came out and they fumbled. Momentum shifted. When the 49ers got that stop on fourth down and realized that they kept it at a 14-point game versus going back to 17-point game, they have momentum now. Now they have all the confidence in the world, and they're in San Francisco, right? So they got the fans behind them as well. All you did was light a fire whenever you missed that fourth down. And then, like I said, they scored a touchdown. Then the very next drive, the Lions fumbled, and the 49ers got it right back and scored again. Just like that. Just like that, the game is tied 24-24. You lost a 24-7 lead just that fast because you did not decide to kick that field goal. Then after that, the Lions come out and punt. 49ers go and get a field goal. Now it's 24-27. The Lions get the ball back. The Lions drove down the field again. Got in field goal range, right? It's 24-7. You kick this field goal, you tie the game. At least you can take away some momentum from the 49ers because all the 49ers done have scored. The 49ers have scored, 3 plus 7 plus 7. I believe they scored 17 points. They did because it's tied now. They scored 17 points and you didn't score anything. All right, so it's 24-24. Go kick the field goal. Go up by 3. Get your team settled down. Okay, put some points on the board. We good. You take away the momentum from the 49ers, but you went for it again on fourth down, and they did not get it. They didn't get it. The 49ers get the ball right back, and they score 10 points. They're down 10 now. Just like that, they scored 24 points. 24 points. Just that fast. Just that fast, and it's I blame it has to be a coaching error because if you go for it, if you kick a field goal on those 2 drives, a whole different ball. If you kick a field goal the first time, then it's a whole different ball game. But just like that, let me say it scored 3 plus 7, that's 10 plus 7, that's 17 plus another field goal, that's 20, and then they scored again 27. They scored 27 points in that whole span, all because you lighted that fire and you let them get that momentum, and now they knew they had the game, especially when you went for the fourth down the second time. All right, so the 49ers scored, then the Lions scored again, but it was 56 seconds left, so it was 34-31. They kicked the onside kick. The 49ers got it, and then that was the end of the game. But your aggressiveness, Dan Campbell, got you in trouble. The same aggressiveness that saved you throughout the year. I still saved you, but kind of made your name relevant throughout the year. Everybody, when they think about Dan Campbell, they think about the whole biting the kneecaps off, that little quote that he had earlier this year, but they also think about his aggressiveness. He's going to go for it on fourth down, period. All right. Brandon Staley, head coach for the Chargers, who got fired. He had that same mentality, except they always failed. Dan Campbell had the same mentality, but they were successful. But then you get to the playoffs, and the complete opposite happened. All right, this is the definition of one of my favorite movies called in Batman. All right, you either in Dark Knight. Either you die a hero or you live long enough to become the villain. All right, Dan Campbell, either you die a hero or you live long enough to become the villain. All right, throughout the whole entire year you was the hero. Now you didn't got to the NFC Championship. You blew this league, and now you are the villain, all right? So to me, I give the 49ers credit for that comeback, right? Because even though a team helps you, that don't mean that you click on all cylinders and don't make any mistakes in the second half. That's what they did. But the 49ers was a big part of that. I mean, the Lions was a big part of that. Made a lot of mistakes, a couple drop passes, that fumble, right? So you can blame the team, but the team is a reflection of the coach, and the coach made a bad decision, and that reflected for the rest of the half, and the 49ers came back and won the game. Simple as that. All right, so the 49ers moved on to go to the Super Bowl, and the Lions are going home. But I knew I gave the Lions some respect and some credit. They made it further than I thought they would make it. Right? I thought the Lions were a team that was going to get over the hump, get into the playoffs, then lose the first round. I picked the Rams to beat them in the first round. They almost did, but the Lions came out on top. And then they kind of weak matchup the second round against the Buccaneers, but they overachieved this year. I don't think nobody thought they would be in the AFC Championship, especially in a conference with the Eagles and the 49ers and the Cowboys. For those of y'all who thought they was an elite team, I definitely did not think they would be here because I thought it would be the Eagles and the 49ers for sure, but they ended up getting to the NFC Championship. So they overachieved this year, but then you kind of look back at it like, man, they really could have went to the Super Bowl if Dan Campbell just played it safer and did not play as aggressive as he did in the NFC Championship, right? The second half of that game. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. Man, topic that look, Lamar fans, it's funny because I've been getting text messages. I know y'all hear that police siren, that siren in the back, but I'm not starting this video over. All right, so we're gonna have to deal with it for a little bit. All right, but Lamar fans. All right, y'all know who y'all are. I'm not gonna sit here and call y'all out, nothing like that. But Coach PJ, Tyrell. Oh my goodness, I got a little, congestion over here. I'm sorry, a little, it's been a little cold outside. Voice a little messed up, but I haven't got any text messages since Sunday. Like before Sunday, I was getting text messages. Oh my God, the Ravens flock. Here come the flock. We coming. Lamar Jackson, MVP, best QB in the league. I was hearing it, and I just sat back and said, all right, y'all got it. Y'all got it. Going into this game against the Chiefs, you know Lamar Jackson was 2-3 in the playoffs. Like going into this playoffs in general, right? Going into the 2024 playoffs. Lamar Jackson was 1-3 in the playoffs. 1-3. Mind y'all, he had the number 1 seed a couple years ago when they lost to the Titans in the divisional round. He's 1-3 in the playoffs. He won a game against the overachieving Texans, a Texans team that we know had no business being where they were. He beat that team, and all of a sudden, the whole world stood behind Lamar Jackson and said, go beat Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship. That's what happened. You beat the overachieving Texans, a team that should not have been there. And then the whole world stands behind you because you beat that Texas team. Now you're 2-3 in the playoffs, and the whole world said, go beat Patrick Mahomes. It was nearly impossible. Not just because of you, but I just knew that in a big game against Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship, a place that he's been every single year, I knew you wouldn't outperform him. I didn't know you would wet the bed like you did in this AFC Championship game, but I knew you would not outperform Mahomes. So I figured that the task was impossible, but you made it even more impossible when you came out and played the way that you played. Lamar Jackson did not play like an MVP, period. All right, and this is, like I said, I hate to do this because it's almost like a I told you so kind of thing, but I told y'all, right? Lamar, in this game, all right. Remember, Lamar came out and went 3 and out. All right. So I was like, ooh, that was a little ugly. Mahomes come out, drive down the field, score like that. I'm like, man, what's going on? What's going on, Lamar? Lamar come back out. He made one of the best plays I've ever seen. Not gonna lie. He made the D lineman miss, or the outside linebacker miss on the edge rusher. The edge rusher, outside linebacker, DN, whoever it was, George, whatever his name is, cannot pronounce his last name. He made a miss, threw a dart to Zay Flowers, touchdown, 7-7. I said, okay, show me something then. Go ahead, show me something. Following that, 7-7, right? Lamar Jackson, this is every time he had the ball, following that touchdown drive. Fumble, punt, fumble, interception, and the interception was in a triple coverage with 6 minutes and 54 seconds left. Lamar Jackson put up 7 points in the first quarter, did not score again to the fourth quarter, and it wasn't even a touchdown. It was a field goal with 2 minutes and 34 seconds left. He went the rest of the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, and most of the fourth quarter without putting up points. That cannot happen. All right, you are the MVP. You are that guy from what I've been hearing over the past couple of weeks. You are that guy. You are him. And you put up 7 points in the AFC Championship against Patrick Mahomes. You're not going to win that game, period. All right, Lamar Jackson's numbers was he went 20 for 37, 272 yards, a touchdown, and interception. His QBR was 42.9. 42.9, and I forgot to mention that first fumble was his fumble because he held the ball too long in the pocket and they ended up strip sacking him, all right? So he lost the fumble and threw an interception and had more turnovers than touchdowns, all right? And it's fun, and this is the part that really ticks me off, man, because I don't have nothing against Lamar Jackson. The fans is what really makes me go against Lamar Jackson because when he does great things, when he does good things, y'all sing his praises. All I see is Lamar Jackson highlights. All I see is Lamar Jackson this, Lamar Jackson that. Cool. But when he does this, when he wets the bed, I can't find none of y'all. All of y'all mighty quiet. I'm not hearing nobody saying nothing. I have not got text messages from Ravens fans and Lamar Jackson supporters ever since that game on Sunday. Haven't heard from y'all. I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried. My friends and my very close friend of mine, you know who you are. haven't heard from you, especially when it's doing with like one of my friends. I texted him about a whole different subject, and he texted me back like he ain't see the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, we trying to plan a little trip together, and I'm talking to him about that. And he ain't saying nothing about the Ravens. He act like the Ravens. He act like he ain't had nothing to do with that. Like, I don't support the Ravens. We talking about something else. No, I'm waiting for you to say something. Say Lamar Jackson wet the bed. Just say he played bad. Just say it. And that's what makes me mad. We overhype and praise this man when he's doing good things, right? About to win an MVP, I don't think he deserves it because the numbers do not say that he's an MVP. All right, but he won games this year. He had a good year overall. All I heard was Lamar Jackson. That he wets the bed, plays bad, and what happens? I don't hear nothing. And all I hear people coming out defending him. That's what I hear. RG3 came out and had made like 9 tweets saying why it's not Lamar Jackson's fault. No, it was Lamar Jackson's fault. That interception with 6 minutes left in the game. They needed you to be great. Go be great. Look, Mahomes only put up 17 points. The defense played good. Mahomes only put up 17 points. At least score right here, make it 14-17, and now we got a ball game. All right? But you threw it in a triple coverage. Like, wow, that pass made no sense to me. All right? He wet the bed. He choked. The moment was too big. Let's just be honest and let's say it. Now, I got to come out and sound like the villain, right? Because I got to come out here and tell y'all the facts. Nobody has texted me. No Lamar Jackson fans have texted me. I'm really worried about y'all. I don't know where y'all at. I might have to get a couple of y'all phone call because don't act like this ain't happened because it did. All right? Lamar Jackson went to bed, as simple as that. And on the flip side of this, once again, I hate people getting overhyped. We're praising Patrick Mahomes for putting up 17 points. He put up 17 points and won the AFC Championship, and we're calling him the topic this week is that he's the greatest of all time. That's what the topic is this week. He put up 17 points. He's the greatest of all time. I don't get it. He threw one touchdown, and he's the greatest of all time. I don't get it. This game was more of a Lamar Jackson choke than a Patrick Mahomes win. That's just what it was. But Lamar Jackson is not getting any criticism, but Patrick Mahomes getting all the praise for another guy choking the game away. I don't get it. Like I said, it's just little old me doing a little YouTube podcast, trying to be great, trying to do big things, but I guess I don't know what I'm talking about, right? Because everybody thinks that after this game, Patrick Mahomes is the greatest of all time. Right, of course, that it was rumbling. It was conversations with brewing about that prior to this game, but then after this game, Patrick Mahomes is so great. 17 points, 1 passing touchdown. Really, come on now. And then on the flip side, Lamar Jackson going into this game. Lamar Jackson about to take down Patrick Mahomes. And it's funny because the people that said Mahomes is the greatest of all time are the people that picked Lamar Jackson to win this game. It's backwards. I'm not understanding. All right, you want Lamar Jackson to come and beat the greatest of all time. Lamar Jackson 2-3 in the playoffs. Now he's 2-4 in the playoffs. Come on, man. But like I said, it's just little old me doing a little podcast trying to spit facts. But apparently, I don't know what I'm talking about because everybody else think that Mahomes the GOAT after winning a game because another man failed. And everybody thought Lamar Jackson would win this game whenever you say Patrick Mahomes is the greatest of all time. Like I said, it's just flipped to me. It's backwards, but it is what it is. I'm going to move on to the next subject. More of the story is Lamar Jackson did not play like an MVP. All right. At the end of the day, I know people want to talk about the Zay Flowers drive in the fourth quarter, I believe, when he fumbled. Everybody want to talk about that. When he had that taunting penalty, I understand that. Y'all want to bring that up, but the boy balled out. He held like 90-something yards and a touchdown. He balled out, period. All right, but Lamar Jackson, the whole entire game, you disappeared. After that first touchdown, it's like you scared yourself. Like, I did that in the AFC Championship, and after that, I ain't hear your name now once until you threw that interception in triple coverage, and y'all got that field goal in the fourth quarter. But hey, it is what it is. Try to tell y'all. Next subject, we going with Jason Kidd. Man, it's the last subject of the episode too. Jason Kidd, preach, brother. Amen. I caught the Holy Ghost when Jason Kidd came out and said what he said about Luka Doncic. All right, because it's something that I had been saying to close friends of mine and a lot of my family members about Luka, but Jason Kidd, head coach for the Mavericks, came out and said this the other day, all right? He said he's better than Dirk. and I quote, these are quotations, he's better than Dirk, all right? He's in the atmosphere of MJ, the best to ever do it, LeBron, Kobe. And so just to appreciate what this young man is doing at the age of 24, it is something that Dallas has never seen. I've said this internally, he is better than Dirk. He does things that Dirk could never do, and now is the opportunity of getting the right people around him and ultimately winning a championship, all right? This quote from Jason Kidd is being taken out of context. Because I saw this on Instagram, and I'm looking at the comments, people saying, Dirk got a ring last time I checked. Dirk got a ring. Hush, nobody cares. We're not talking about rings. We're talking about talent. This is strictly a talent statement. Dirk cannot touch Luka talent-wise. Almost nobody in the history of basketball, and I'm saying this, and this is on the air, this is on the record, can touch Luka in terms of talent. Nobody can touch Luka in the history of basketball. Strictly talent. Remember, I'm saying this. Make sure that is highlighted when I make this statement. We're talking about talent. What can you do with the basketball in your hands? He passes the ball like magic. All right, and then he goes and scores like Jordan. He does both. It's put together. Jordan was not known for passes. Magic was not known for scoring. Magic did it every now and then, right? But we all know Magic for his ability to dish the ball and to get the ball to other playmakers. That's why we know Magic Johnson. We know MJ mainly because of his scoring ability. Unstoppable, can do it all. We've seen LeBron put 2 and 2 together. We've seen LeBron put Magic ability and MJ ability together. All right, we saw it. He's a scorer and he can dish the ball. But Luka does it at such an elite, just special way that nobody has ever done it before. He will give you glimpses of Larry Bird, MJ, and Magic in one game. We've seen it. Just turn on Luka film. Turn on his passes are out of this world. He is almost and when I say the best passer ever, Magic Johnson has that title because of the numbers, right? He did it so many times. And you look at his assist numbers in his career, he always averaged above 10. Luka can do that in a game and still put up 50 points. Like, that's what Luka does. You watch Luka. Luka, once again, Magic, the greatest passer ever. Not taking that from him. I think he's also the greatest point guard ever. That's another conversation for another day. Luka makes prettier passes than Magic. Prettier passes. I'm talking between defenders' legs. We all saw the pass last year against the Pacers where he was literally behind the goal on the opposite side of the court, falling out of bounds, jumped up and threw the ball cross court to the other side to an open man for a wide open three. We've seen Luka behind the back passes. We've seen Luka act like he's shooting and pass the ball backwards. Things that nobody has ever done before, things that nobody has ever seen before. And in those same games, he's breaking ankles, he's stepped back in three-pointers in people's faces, he's driving to the goal slow as ever. We know Luka is very slow, but he's getting the contact, getting the and-ones. This is the best player, best, not greatest, the best player to ever touch a basketball, because we've never seen anybody do the things that he do with the ball in his hands. He's like a magician. I call him Luka Magic because the things that he do are just magical on the court. All right, we're looking at Luka's numbers this year. Luka's averaging 35, 9, and 10. 35 points, 9 rebounds, 10 assists, I believe. Or is it 9 assists, 10 rebounds? I just wrote 35, 9, and 10, all right? Those are dominating numbers. And actually, it's like 34.7, but I rounded up 35 because we all know above 5, you round up. All right, we all learned that in elementary school, okay? So we got this. 35 points, 9, I think is, once again, is either rebounds, assists, or 10 rebounds and assists, all right? But 35, 9, and 10, that's the moral of the story, all right? And then just this past weekend, I believe it was Saturday night? No, Friday night. Last week, Friday night. Luka dropped 73, 10, and 7. 10 rebounds, 7 assists. All right. He shot 75% from the field. 75%, which means he was not missing. All right. Most people that score 80, 70, 60, their shooting percentage is not 75%. Right. So he's doing what he's doing at a very efficient level. Luka Doncic. And I'm a LeBron fan. We all know this. Luka Doncic, talent-wise, is better than LeBron James. Talent-wise, it's a mile between him and the next best player in the league. Strictly talent. Not talking about winning. We're talking about just talent. Just go out there on the basketball court and show me the best move you can possibly show me. Or go out there and put on the best performance you can possibly put on. Luka Doncic will have the better performance than any other player in the league. And I'm standing by that. I'm stamping that. All right. And of all time, talent, I know the game has come a long way. The game has evolved, right? What players are doing now, players couldn't do back then. All right. But Luka with the ball in his hands looks better than any player to ever touch a basketball. I'm co-signing that. Jason Kidd, I understand what you're saying. Preach, brother. Preach, all right? Jason Kidd, if you start a church, I'm coming, all right? Because you doing nothing but spitting facts. And guess what? Jason Kidd played alongside Dirk, all right, who everybody thinks is the best player to ever do it in a Mavericks uniform. But he's coaching Luka. He sees the difference. He sees that Dirk was good, but this man is something different. This man is something special. He's on a whole nother level. Luka Magic, all right? But that is it for today's episode, man. I hope y'all enjoyed. I'm going to also drop another episode on Friday. All right, so today Thursday. All right, we all got that. Today Thursday. I'm going to drop another episode tomorrow. And the episode will be more about basketball, all right? Because I did a little more, mostly I did kind of both today, right? The all-time duos, and I ended it with basketball, but I had football in the middle. But I'm gonna do more basketball tomorrow because next week, of course, we're gonna focus more on the Super Bowl. So for the little break we have in the NFL season, I'm gonna talk more about basketball, right? But that's it for today. I will see y'all tomorrow on the Straight to the Point podcast. Much love, y'all. Stay blessed, y'all. Stay safe. I'm out.